Alrighty. Today we're going to be doing anomalous items 101 through 150. Alright. A recently opened 38 centiliter glass bottle of blank brand ketchup. Ketchup, contents of bottle deemed impossible to retrieve. Extract, oh my gosh, talk today. Despite vigorous smacking and shaking. Date of recovery 04/15/2000 something. Location of recovery San Juan, Mexico. Current status shattered during an unauthorized extraction attempt at Site 22 cafeteria. Despite severe fragmentation, contents remained irretrievable from bottle. Broken shards and remains moved to standard storage locker at Site 59. Item description glass mirror that reflects images across its surface approximately 3.86 seconds more slowly than conventional mirrors, resulting in a significant lag in observed reflection. Location of recovery Ukraine. Current status undergoing testing at Site 73. Status indicates that there is no observable change in the rate at which photons are reflected by the mirror. Item description a toy rocket made out of an unknown substance, which can exceed speeds needed to escape Earth's gravity. Caught the interest of Foundation and was tested. Location of recover. Location of recovery. A border. Why even not just redact the whole thing? Current status. Currently located in the thermosphere of Earth's orbit. Item description. Bootleg VHS copy of the Swedish movie Blank Blank of Blank. 19 sometime in 1900. All characters change gender and ethnicity randomly on each viewing. Location of recovery. Guam. Current status. Currently in Site 19 break room. Scratched. Currently in storage. Notes. Bad acting, boring plot. Item description. A small blank brand FM radio, estimated to be blank years old. When powered and set to any frequency, the radio will play a random song popular among teenagers during the activator's pubescent years. This song will always involve romantic relations and is described as remarkably apposite to the activator's current relationship status in 95% of cases. I assume that's meant to say opposite. Whatever. Opposite? Oh, okay. So it's apposite. So similar to, like in line with. Okay, that's very confusing. I don't know why you would phrase it that way. When activated by somebody not in a romantic relationship, the radio will play an inexpertly recorded cover of Nilsson's single One, sung dramatically off-key by an unidentified pubescent male, accompanied by a series of atonal electric piano notes. Date of recovery, 1986. Location of recovery, high school in Illinois. Current status, lost following testing by researcher blank. Item description, a bag of blank blank brand marshmallows. When a marshmallow is consumed by an individual, their head becomes engulfed in blue flames. Subject always report a lack of noticeable change in spite of heat readings exceeding 100 degrees Celsius. Date of recovery, 2014. Location of recovery, Scotland. Current status, remaining samples were placed in storage. Item description, a pair of ravens, who will sing who will sing the folk song known as Qua Corbis in some but not all occasions when someone dies within an approximately 1 kilometer radius. Date of recovery 06/27/1989. Location of recovery the British Isles. Current status held in a standard aviary. Item description one pair of blank brand headphones that can only be described as the opposite of what they are. Date of recovery sometime in the 2000s. Location of recovery Canada. Current status in storage at site blank. Notes don't think about it too much. Dr. Blank. Item description a yellow brandless notebook, Every page contains multiple hand-drawn rainbows. The words Kyle, age 6, are visible on the item's cover. All written text regarding said notebook will alter its color in order to follow the pattern of colors of the rainbows contained in the notebook. The drawings do not follow the pattern of real rainbows. Date of recovery. Blank, blank, blank. Oh, I don't know why I read that. Oh, it's because it was in green and it distracted me. Location of recovery. Sussex, UK. Current status. In storage at Site 98. Item description: an iron ball bearing, radius 2 centimeters, which completely lacks ferromagnetic properties, even in the presence of strong magnetic fields, tested up to 8 Tesla. It is the only known instance of an anapole, that is, a magnet with no poles, as opposed to a hypothetical monopole. Discovered when searching for low background steel for use in radiation sensitive experiments. It was noted for anomalously low levels of trace radioactive elements. Subsequent analysis revealed that it is composed entirely of pure iron. Date of recovery, sometime in the 2000s. Location of recovery, factory in Alaska, US. Current status, held in Site 11, storage, in radiation shielding unit, preserved purity. Anomalous items 111 through 120. Item description, standard Monopoly board game that, when played, will invariably incite an argument between the players that will ultimately lead to the cessation of or annulment of their marriage, partnership, friendship, or whatever other form their relationship took. Date of recovery: 0703 2001. Location of recovery: Family Yard Sale, Illinois, US. Current status: Site 19 storage. I assume they were having a yard sale because they got a divorce and they needed to uh, get rid of everything for lawyers' fees. Item description: 7 booster packs of the popular Magic the Gathering trading card game. Opening any one of the packs will lead to an unidentified male voice saying, "Ha, nerd." The voice appears to be located a distance away from the opener of the pack. Location of recovery: 13 2000 something. Why put a date if you don't have a month? That's uh, location of recovery: comic store. Current status: only 5 boosters remain. Currently stored in Site 23 storage room. How do you even find that? Item description: a 2 meter by 1 meter glass oblong that acts as a portable window to a parallel universe. Reverse side is an unidentified opaque material which has resisted all efforts to damage it thus far. Currently, the point of divergence between universes is unknown. It does not appear to have altered any aspect of Earth. Glass is functionally a mirror. Date of recovery: 03, sometime in the 1900s. Don't Why even put a date if you don't have a month? It doesn't make sense. Location of recovery: England. Current status: marked and used in site blank changing rooms. Scratched. Removed to storage following reinstitution of protocol Anti-An 105-65, sorry, 76, containment first, on September 6, 2009. Item description: a 17-gram lump of plasticine, which, when viewed by more than one person, is unanimously agreed to be too much plasticine. Mechanism for perpetuation of this worldview is currently unknown. No anomalous effects are if viewed by only one person. Date of recovery: blank 12 2000 something. Again, why? Oh my gosh, it's baffling why you would put a date with no month is basically zero information. So why not redact the whole thing? Current status: location of recovery, England. Current status: kept in a small plastic bag in the break room of site blank. Item description: pillow that audibly complains about itself. Complaints thus far have been softness, of which this pillow stated it is too hard and too soft at different times, material of the pillow, the material inside the pillow, and how much it talks about itself. While it has been noted the pillow is sentient and is able to respond to personnel, the only thing it has discussed is itself. Date of recovery, blank 14, 2000 something. Again, why? Why put any date at all? If you redact the month and leave the day, it makes literally no sense. So redact the entire thing, or at least redact the day as well, or leave the whole thing open. Just some of the decisions in this thing are so dumb. Location of recovery, blank soft company. Current status, Site 35 storage room. Item description. A chicken nugget that does not age or go stale. When a piece of the object is when a piece of the object is bitten off, the nugget will regenerate the area that has been bitten. Cutting pieces off of the object do not regenerate. It seems as though the main part of the nugget will regenerate when pieces cut off. With this, the, oh my God, who wrote this? I- It seems as though the main part of the nugget will regenerate, while pieces cut off of it do not show anomalous properties. Christ, I don't know who wrote this, but good Lord. Date of recovery 12/31, 2013. Location of recovery blank, Connecticut. Current status stored in freezer at Site 48. Notes. Maybe we could use this as an infinite ration during shortage of food. Dr. Smith. Item description. A white oak tree that, when viewed by a subject, is invariably described as being ironic. Affected subjects are incapable of or unwilling to explain further. Date of recovery 05/21, 2011. Location of recovery Canada. Current status in storage. Item description. A 1 meter tall solid gold flamingo statue that animates whenever a blue moon occurs. When animated, it attempts to fly through the ceiling, only to crash into it. It will keep doing so until either restrained or the morning after the blue moon ends. Date of recovery 05/16 blank. Location of recovery a zoo in the United States. Current status in storage. Item description a toilet paper roll with the words Jimmy's Telescope and Antiscop written on it, with a red marker and various star stickers dotted around it. When viewing through one side, the roll will act as a telescope. However, when viewed from the other side, it acts as a microscope. Date of recovery 6/12. Location of recovery some woods in the US. Current status in storage. Notes I feel bad for the kid who lost this. Dr. Richards. Item description some number of sheets of paper, when flipped in the same direction twice, show a third side. Flipping a sheet again will show the first side. Flipping backwards from the first side will show the third side. Date of recovery 3/20 blank. Location of recovery a high school. Current status in storage. Anomalous items 121 through 130. Item description a medium white men's shirt. All attempts to capture the item on video or photograph have failed, as photographs and videos developed as if the shirt were not present. Current status in storage. Item description an abstract bronze sculpture measuring 2.11189 meters in height. Artist unknown. Exposure results in drastic overestimation of one's ability to make precise measurements for 9.800419 hours afterwards. Location of recovery Museum of Modern Art between 5th and 6th Avenue, New York, USA. Current status in storage. Item description a pair of cheese graters. Any cheese grated with one comes out of the other grater. They're, the two are within approximately 6 meters of each other. Location of recovery 21 Blank Road, Sequim, Washington. Current status under testing. Item description a standard paper straw wrapper, which is animate and has behavior patterns consistent with a boa constrictor. This includes slow slithering movements and attempts to constrict prey. Due to the material it is made of, it exerts very little force, cannot constrict anything worthy of notice. Date of recovery, sometime in the 2000s. Location of recovery, Moe's Roadside Grill. Current status, crumpled up, presumably by accident, believed to be dead. Item description, a font file named hypefaces.ttf. Any text displayed in it appears as excerpts from Klingon Steed, a 12 novel series of unpublished slash romances. Author and font creator are unacquainted and display no anomalies. Downloadable file replaced with corrupt decoy. Date of recovery 0306 2009. Location of recovery freecrazyfonts.com. Site defunct as of 16/12 2012. I just can't keep the date format the same. Oh my gosh. Current status installed on workstation of senior researcher Mary Esposito, site 12. Item description, an oil painting depicting a sunset over snow capped mountains. Any human who views the painting is unable to move, excluding blinking and other unconscious movements, until they are deemed to have sufficiently appreciated the painting's composition or are forcibly moved by an external force. 12. Date of recovery 12/6/2000 something. Location of recovery, an art gallery in Ukraine, having spontaneously appeared in the gallery the day before. Current status, in permanent storage following an incident in which Dr. Gently was transfixed for 3 hours before being removed by security staff. Notes, maybe it'd be easier to appreciate the thing if the artist wasn't terrible at conveying depth. Dr. Gently. Item description, a plush toy of a golden retriever dog looking cheaply made in appearance. Subjects describe the plush toy's body to feel unusually realistic. Touching the plush toy's fur is described to feel like a dog's fur. Touching the mouth is described to feel damp and sticky, and so on. Date of recovery 09/21/1992. Location of recovery, a dollar store in Louisiana. Current status, recreational toy in Site 15 lounge. Item description, a 13-piece set of basic 12-inch rulers. When damaged, emit a loud screeching sound, then begin to move away from the source of damage. Date of recovery 01/2000 something. Location of recovery, an abandoned Staples warehouse in Coppell, Texas, formerly home to a blank sex cult and blank blank. Current status under testing. Item description, it might be a coffee cup that could possibly cause all writing about it to be uncertain. Date of recovery 1999-ish. Location of recovery somewhere in Florida. Current status in storage, possibly. And yet somehow that is as descriptive as a lot of the rest of these, despite being unsure of itself the entire time. It still manages to be exactly as accurate as most of the rest of these. Weird. Item description, a nickel plated pocket watch. Induces a mild trance in observers when not being swung back and forth like a pendulum. Date of recovery 06/2000 something. Location of recovery, a flea market in Cairo. Current status, anomalous properties suppressed, safe to observe. Notes, did somebody actually build a little machine to keep this thing swinging? I mean, nice job, I guess, but seriously, couldn't we could just keep it in a box? Dr. Micah. Anomalous items 131 through 140. Item description, a copper hoop 152 millimeters in radius with a tubular rim 6.44 meter radius, a groove 1.6 millimeters wide runs along the inner surface. Three 25.4 millimeter bar magnets are attached to rails within the groove. These magnets are always equidistant, and if given any momentum, will rotate around the hoop at a constant velocity without slowing. Any attempt to extract mechanical energy from this system causes it to abruptly stop. All copies have failed to duplicate the perpetual motion of the original device. Date of recovery 0808 1968. Location of recovery Inventors Convention, Las Vegas, Nevada. Current status Engineering Research Lab, Site 19. Item description a stack of 128 scratched, 127 scratched, around 124 scratched, A4 printing papers with a variety of content, exact number of sheets undetermined. Every time the stack is counted, a single scratched, 1 to 3 scratched, a small number of sheets, exact number undetermined, and suspected to be random, will disappear. Date of recovery 0511 2010. Location of recovery a building in Shanghai, China. Original stack believed to have consisted of over 400 papers. Current status in storage. Item description a 10 by 10 centimeter piece of white cardstock bearing two equally sized black dots. The dots remain adjacent to one another along the direction of the Earth's equator, no matter which way the card is turned. Anomaly fails to manifest when paper is not held approximately parallel to the ground. Date of recovery 1211 blank. Location of recovery the blank PD Forensics Lab, retrieved from a deceased John Doe. Current status laminated for preservation purposes, kept in storage. Item description a plastic milk jug which does not experience any gravitational forces. Milk was found to harbor no anomalous properties. Date of recovery 01/12/2015. Location of recovery a recycling center in Argentina. Current status stolen. Item description a rock possessing telepathic abilities with a range of a few meters. Mostly mulls over how bored it is. Communication appears to be one way only. Date of recovery 0901 blank. Location of recovery discovered during investigation of site of an anomalous event by MTF Psi 8, the silencers. Determined to be unattached to identifiable larger anomaly. Current status in storage. Notes. Took several hours to locate which rock was anomalous. My knees hurt. Agent blank. Item description. A pig whose appearance is static and shifted downward by approximately 0.25 meters. Effect is purely visual. The image is as it was when the effect started. The effect was reported to have taken a hold instantly. Location of recovery. Pig farm. Current status. Kept as a pet on site blank by junior researcher Barham. Item description. A mummified human foot in a clay jar. Thought to date back to the 18th dynasty of Egypt. Anomalous in that the genetic testing matches the foot of one Daniel Ho, a resident of modern-day California, who presently possesses both of his feet. Ho is under surveillance. Date of recovery 06/13/2000 blank. Location of recovery found in the remains of a shrine to the Egyptian goddess Ma'at. Current status in storage. Notes. Ho's left foot was severed in an industrial accident on 02/21/2000 blank. Foot was seized by Foundation personnel and found to share numerous characteristics with the mummified foot, currently held in cold storage. Item description a soft boiled egg approximately 0.7 meters in height. Shell is tan in color and speckled with green. DNA testing inconclusive. Date of recovery 12/11 blank. Location of recovery retrieved from an illegally operated restaurant in South America, specializing in exotic foods. Other dishes on the menu included snow leopard, chimpanzee, woolly mammoth, human, and SCP blank. Reports indicated that two such eggs had already been served, and that the last was being reserved for a wealthy Chinese stockbroker. The egg was predicted to sell for blank $1 million. Current status undergoing testing. Item description a printed image of a Jack Russell Terrier that invariably fools observers into believing they are perceiving a living dog of the same breed. Effect can be avoided by observing the image indirectly, such as through a mirror or camera. Date of recovery 0904 blank. Location of recovery, a pet show in New Orleans. Current status, held in site blank kennels, scratched, stored in site blank cognitohazard file containment. Item description, a letter opener resembling a 15-centimeter long miniature claymore. Material is common low-grade stainless steel. The handle is lacquered oak. Material samples taken exhibit no unusual properties. The content of the envelope opened with it is transformed into a poem of appropriate content. Mission reports have been transformed into anything ranging in style from Viking sagas to material akin to poems by the war poets of World War I, while clerical content usually turns into a Dadaist or absurdist poetry, especially anything produced by the accounting department of blank. Rate of recovery, sometime in the 2000s. Current status, kept in storage at site blank. Access is usually granted upon written request to Dr. Blank for A to C class personnel. A class personnel specifically weren't supposed to come into contact with anomalies. Weird. All right. Anomalous items 141 through 150. Item description, a twin size mattress. Subjects who fall asleep on the mattress will invariably have a dream in which they are forced to consume a live walrus using only a fork and a kitchen knife. Whether or not the subject succeeds in the dream appears to be inconsequential. Date of recovery 14/06/1983. Location of recovery a furniture store in blank, England. Current status in storage. Item description a box of 24 blank brand pencils featuring 3 pencils in colors that don't exist in nature. Listed on the box and on each respective pencil as Moiter, Emelet, and Cancri. These pencils work as expected. Location of recovery recovered from Mena Charitable Foundation establishment located in Canada. Current status in storage. Notes probably a mimetic or something. Gives me a migraine to look at them. Pretty though. Researcher blank. Item description a 1-to-1 replica of a 338 caliber Accuracy International AWM sniper rifle, complete with bipod, telescopic sight, magazine, and internal mechanisms. My bad. Constructed out of various unusually durable edible substances, a significant portion of which is chocolate cake. Despite its composition, item is fully functional as a firearm, capable of chambering and firing 338 Lapua Magnum cartridges. Date of recovery 07/16/2000. Location of recovery Sandford, Somerset, England. Current status in storage. Item description a running car made entirely out of paper scraps. No motor has been found. Location of recovery Texas. Current status kept in garage with various other non dangerous cars and such in site blank. Item description the exact phrase blank. When used as a surname on any as a username on any website, this no, that's you. Oh my gosh. You. All right. You. Ugh, this formatting is so ass. When used as a username on any websites, accounts by this name cannot be banned or deleted, and content uploaded or posted by them cannot be removed due to computer errors that spontaneously occur during attempts. Date of recovery 2007. Location of recovery not applicable. First instance identified on social media website Reddit. Current status the operators of the blank known accounts by this username have been located and amnesticized to prevent usage of these accounts. The username has been registered by the Foundation on as many other sites as possible. Item description a coin counting jar with no identifiers on its manufacturers. The jar runs on the jar runs on one AAA battery and works as expected, correctly counting the amount of coins placed within. However, all coins placed inside will become pennies of equal amount, e.g., a dime placed inside will become 10 pennies. Outwardly, the jar appears full of pennies. If the lid is removed, the coins can be removed as normal, but they still appear as pennies while within the jar. Date of recovery 11/11/2011. Location of recovery, a Walgreens store in Florida. Current status on the desk of Dr. Blank. Item description, a stack of 364 pieces of personalized stationery. Messages for Bertrand Bartleby is inscribed at the top of each. When folded in half, stationery will inscribe itself with the name, physical description, and chronological record of actions taken by anyone in proximity to the folded paper, using terminology and slang common to turn of the century London. Date of recovery 02/15/2015. Location of recovery 412 Missionary Street, London, England. Current status missing. Notes on 06/20/2015, all but one piece of the acquired stationery were reported missing from the storage. The remaining piece had been folded in half and left in the empty locker. 15 minutes after the third bell. Evening. Bertrand Bartleby enters, pale, stout, and doughy as a Yorkshire dumpling, dress of fine quality, posture of a well-bred and educated gentleman. 16 minutes after the third bell. Evening. Bertrand Bartleby recovers all but one of me. He expresses polite amusement at my recovery. I am folded in half. 17 minutes after third bell. Evening. Bertrand Bartleby requests that I begin recording retroactively from the moment he arrived. Additions are made. 18 minutes after the third bell. Evening. Bertrand Bartleby exits. 22 minutes after the seventh bell. Morning. Quartermaster Victor Lewis enters. Tall, athletic, with a distinct mix of European French and African Negro. Dress, of, dress and posture of unsightly quality. 23 minutes after the seventh bell. Morning. Victor Lewis recognizes that the rest of me is missing. He emits vocalized expressions of vulgarity, suggesting surprise and or anger, typical of lesser upbringing. He approaches with intent to open me. On to the next one. Item description, a blank brand mountain bike that, while mounted, experiences a headwind of random speeds from blank meters per second to blank meters per second, even in enclosed buildings. Date of recovery, 2014. Location of recovery, Denmark. Current status, research ongoing for possible wind power generation. Item description, a blank brand digital camera. When a photograph is taken, resulting photograph reveals this photo approximately 4.5 seconds before the exposure took place. Videos taken that are under 4.5 seconds in length are also affected. Date of recovery 04/10/2000 something. Location of recovery D blank photography at blank Germany. Current status in Dr. Blank's office. Item description, the controller for the blank console that causes anyone holding it to write or type in Leet, a language that replaces most alphabet letters with alternative ASCII numbers and symbols. Date of recovery 05/15/2000 something. Location of recovery Illinois, USA. Current status in Dr. Albay's personal locker. All right. That'll be where we will end this for today. And I will probably see you all again fairly soon, honestly. All right. That'll be it for now. Bye.